Alright, dickheads, welcome back to Practicing Hands, an artwod roadmap, specifically the artwod figure roadmap, right? What is artwod? They're the best platform in the world to teach you how to draw from imagination, where they give you the work, not the shortcut, on how to draw simple forms and then manipulate those forms. And after 3 years and 9 months now, you'll be able to draw like this from imagination. Very nice, very good segue, right? But I can't believe it, it's been 3 years and 9 months since I started, November 1st, 2022. But who am I? I'm Viggy. This channel is a repository of my practice to prove that anybody, especially you, can learn to draw, right? So with that being said, get your pen, get your paper, and let's focus on the only thing we can ever control, which is effort. Effort, beautiful, beautiful effort, right? But anyways, is there anything else to my intro? No, that's it. Yeah, get your fucking pen, get your paper, draw along. Cool, wonderful, wonderful. So once again, right, drawing is thinking. So I'm going to think as extensively as I can when it comes to visualizing the box, right? And the visualizing the box with all the visible and invisible planes, or the 6 planes of the box, seeing through it, and then visualizing the diagonal cross sections on the visible and invisible planes, and then doing my best to visualize these proportions. Not this, this is ass, but something more like this, based on Artwod's hand mannequin. It's basically like the more organic, a bit more complicated, not a bit more, sorry, much more complicated, right? I'm not gonna be like that artist who's like, oh yes, to go from this, right? To go from this to this is just a bit more complicated, right? Just a bit more complicated. No, that's fucking incredibly complicated. What the fuck? How do you go from this straight edge contour, right? Visualizing this to suddenly just having a random organic form and then be like, la-di-da, everybody look at me, this is just a bit more complicated. No, the transition from geometric spatial reasoning to organic spatial reasoning, right? Derived from geometric, what's it called? Like an overall geometric envisioning, right? Like, because I'm still thinking about this, by the way, right? I'm still thinking about this. And my organic spatial reasoning is very subpar. I want to be very clear. Like, the reason these hands are a challenge is because my organic spatial reasoning is subpar. But either way, right, let's just get started. That's why, like, the organic nature of these hands do mess with me, right? But the only reason I'm okay at organic spatial reasoning is because I've drawn thousands, and yes, thousands, right, of cylinders. So to go from this, you know, doing thousands of this, and then to be like, so that means if I want to, like, basically make this have an endpoint, right? You start understanding the point of contours, which is if I just close this like so, what that really means is the contour is getting smaller infinitely, right? Infinitely, until it reaches a point, which is what the silhouette travels around, which is what the silhouette surrounds, which is what the silhouette informs, right? Whichever of these words help you, right? Because I know that teaching, I'm very well aware that explaining your thought process when it comes to spatial reasoning and teaching art and draftsmanship is extremely difficult. Like, there was this video of Peter Hahn, the Kazone Art, I believe, the channel. And by the way, like, I'm thinking about the diagonal, I'm thinking about the seen through box, I'm thinking about the diagonal cross section, and I'm already starting to think about the palm, right? And I'm not looking at, and this is extremely difficult because what I'm doing is I'm not looking at the line, and you can see because the line is suffering, which is amazing, and that makes me feel good, right? Because we're forcefully attaching dopamine to errors, right? But I'm constantly trying to zoom out and think about the box, right? And that is, yes, extremely difficult, right? And the diagonal cross sections, which I can barely think about, but I'm trying to do this while applying as well. Diagonal cross section, this top one as well, and this bottom one, right? And then this is also a diagonal as well. So the center line right there, the center line of this, it ends right around here. I'm just trying to tell you exactly what I am thinking in the hopes that it helps you understand that drawing is in fact thinking, right? And I'm right now, what I'm doing is I'm thinking about the form, I'm thinking about the diagonal cross sections, I'm thinking about this subtle diagonal over here and this subtle diagonal over here, because the palm is tapered, right? It's not that stout, but it is tapered, right? And I'm also thinking about this sphere that is intersecting, it is blending into the palm in and of itself, and it is a sphere. I'm thinking about the other side of the sphere, I'm thinking about the overall form, and I was also trying to think about the, let's see, the, because I need to think about the overall, Jesus Christ, and I can't even, like, I'm struggling a lot right now, but I need to think about the overall, fucking hand, but I'm also trying to think about the cylinder attached to it, right? So this could be very off. Like genuinely this could be very off. But I'm trying to think about the cylinder attached to this. Is it something like so? Right? And I'm also trying to think about the thumb, this tapered thumb. And while I'm doing that, I'm still trying to zoom out. Like I'm looking here, I'm drawing this line, but I'm trying to think about this box and its diagonal cross sections while I'm doing that. Right? So that is also very, very difficult. And at the same time, I'm doing my best. See, there you go. That was a fuck up. But I'm doing my best not to lose the forms that I've drawn. Holy shit. That was extremely difficult. And I'm still thinking about the box now, right? I'm still thinking about the box. And this was incorrect because I didn't get the diagonal taper correct, right? So again, let's get this diagonal cross section. And this diagonal, by the way, is based off of, like, this is the front plane, right? Let's say this is the front plane. This is the diagonal cross section. And then this is the center line. And then this is the other diagonal cross section. And that is the diagonal that I'm basing it off of, right? So there's a lot to it. And this is great. This is what I'm doing right now is I'm doing recall, right? This is the power of recall because I'm forcefully recalling the proportions while also keeping the perspective in my mind and also trying to think about, because there's also the side plane, right? I'm also trying to think about this diagonal cross section and then obviously this diagonal cross section and then this diagonal cross, like fucking everything. I'm trying to think about fucking everything, right? But I'm trying to also keep the proportions in mind and trying to recall exactly where, this is very difficult, but exactly where the center line of such an organic form is. Because this palm, according to artwod, this is all artwod's teachings, right? Like this is their simplified version of a mannequin. Everybody has different fucking mannequins for the hand, but it's all based on the proportions anyways. It's all based on proportions and similar shapes, whether they're more organic, less organic, more geometric, whatever the fuck, but it's all similar shapes at the end of the day. This is the left hand, so this is and this, like this, what's it called, organic little shape right here, that's this middle two fingers, right? So I have to remember that, like, hey, this box is straight like so, right? It's straight. I'm not gonna make it curved because that makes it look foreshortened. We're gonna make it straight and it ends right around here. So I need to do that and also have to think like, okay, where is the overlap, right? Where is the overlap? So I'm actively trying to think about the box, but Jesus Christ. Okay, something like this. And then where's the overlap? Is it going around like here? And I'm really trying to, I'm trying so hard to see the box right now. I'm trying so fucking hard to see the box and to think about the space as well as the proportions, as well as, oh, by the way, while I'm also trying to think about the box, the diagonal cross section, the proportions and everything, I'm also actively doing my best to think about the contours of these forms. And what do I mean by that? The contour is the volume in which the space resides in. That's not bad, actually. Proportionally, that's pretty okay, right? Whew. But yeah, that was incredibly difficult, right? So let me draw the box, right? Well, let me rest my brain first, and I encourage you to do so as well. I do apologize, because like this is genuinely very difficult to try to hold these fucking 15 items in my working memory, because draftsmanship, drawing spatial reasoning, is holding multiple items in your working memory. What am I trying to hold? I'm trying to hold a line that's attempted to be applied 20 to 30% faster, while also visualizing a box that has all its visible and invisible planes visualized and calculated with the diagonal cross sections as well, and retain that while also thinking about the multiple proportions involved in this hand, while also thinking about the form intersection, right, of the thumb and like the sphere thumb and the cylinder to the sauce, like the fucking sphere thumb, right? While also thinking about the organic nature of the fingers in and of itself, while also thinking about the diagonal, the subtle diagonal, the taper of the palm, right? That is extremely taxing, and I'm trying to fucking do that while explaining it to you. So, you know, it is what it is, but yeah, I do apologize if I'm not explaining it well, but just know that I'm holding multiple items in my working memory related to the things I just mentioned, right? And it's constantly being juggled in my mind and trying and being lost. I want to be very clear. It's being lost dozens and dozens of times per any given moment, right? Like think like every 5 seconds, I am literally like for any given 5 seconds, I'm just constantly being like, fuck, try to visualize, try to calculate, try to visualize all the things I mentioned, and then I'm losing one or the other, like if not at least 2 or 3 of the others, and then recall, recognition, and then force myself to be like, okay, no, go back to that, and obviously attaching dopamine to errors. But yeah, please, rust your brain. And there's a reason, by the way, that I'm doing things in this manner, in the sense that, like, okay, well, multiple things. First of all, you must do difficult things to be able to do the difficult things much easier, right? Kind of a fucking non-negotiable, right? Like, if I want to be able to draw hands from imagination, I need to be able to brute force, visualize, and apply with the decisiveness, right? And where do you get that? You only get that through repetition. You know, you only get that through repetition. There's no other way to achieve this without repetition. And I want to be very clear, intentional repetitions, right? Intentional repetitions. So on top of that, and I actually think I texted this a little bit, there you go. But on top of that, what else is being done, right? It's also the fact that I'm also making things very difficult by starting with the thumb to the palm intersection, like the sphere to the palm intersection. Because why is that? Because that is a diagonal that is explicitly going against and has to be calculated with my box, right? And it also has to be accounting for the form intersection that is occurring with the sphere. This obviously is extremely difficult. Therefore, it is imperative that it is done first, right? Because if I can do the hardest part first with little issue, then everything else is a non-issue, right? Like everything else literally is fucking 10 times easier. Not easy, but easier. It is simple, not easy, right? Simple to conceptualize perhaps as a concept. And obviously like this sphere is wrong. Like if you look at this sphere, it's like that, right? Like the edge. But if I were to try to make it a perfect sphere, it would be very awkward because this is like more of a fucking half perfect sphere, and then this one's like kind of awkwardly shifting, and right, it's more apparent here because obviously like when something is connecting, and again, like I had a great trouble trying to understand this form blending here with the cylinder to the sphere. Why? Because I haven't practiced that enough. I am not skilled enough. I do not have the current capability to visualize and calculate that information. See, and this again, like I don't have the current ability to stare here while making sure that I can calculate the diagonal cross section, and that's why I'm purposefully not looking there, right? This is all to improve my ability to spatially reason, right? Everything, like again, I want to be very clear, right? Like it's all about, oh, see, like that was a beautiful fuck up too. It's all about spatial reasoning, right? The hand that is being encompassed inside this box that was visualized extensively to the best of my ability is a byproduct. It is a byproduct of the goal, which is better spatial reasoning, right? Like, because what am I really training here? I'm training the ability to hold a box in my mind and to place items that have specific proportions inside of it, right? That applies to anything. That applies to hard surface, that applies to organic, that applies to any fucking subject matter, right? That applies to anything, because at the end of the day, the goal is better spatial reasoning where everything is encompassed inside of a box, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense as to why it is being done in this way, right? Like why the box first? Why is all this shit being envisioned first, right? Better spatial reasoning, just purely better spatial reasoning. And again, like even here, I need to, and this is the really difficult part, like I need to start forcing myself to intersect and to see a box in my mind that is the exact same perspective as the overall box, that is intersecting with the palm, right? That way I can think about, okay, like where, and it's exactly perfectly halfway intersecting, right? So that way I can think like, how is the sphere attached to that? And this sphere could have been a lot better. But overall, that is the perspective, right? Or that is what I'm trying to think about. There's like multiple things. Again, this is rep 21 of 2100, right? Like there's no rush. And one thing I like from that Peter Hahn lecture, by the way, I completely forgot my point on that. And by the way, like while I'm looking at this, well, see, that was a fuck up. But while I'm drawing these contour lines, I'm actively thinking through the line in and of itself. Like I'm thinking about this to the best of my ability, right? Like I'm actively thinking through it. Same with here. Like I'm thinking through the sphere, right? And I'm thinking about the center line of the sphere, right? Right around there. That's actually inaccurate. That could be a lot better, but what's done is done because I made the mark, right? But that's actually what, like, one thing regarding that Peter Hahn lecture from Kazone Art is, like, one thing I really liked is he talked about, or one thing that not I really liked, but that I'm implementing now that I'm glad that he mentioned it. By the way, like, you'll see that these proportions are pretty shit because the fingers are so fucking thick, right? So that's another thing that needs a lot of work is the fingers are too thick. If I look at the example provided by artwod, this finger, like these two fingers should be just like not even like just like 10% thinner, right? Like just literally like this much space needs to be shaved off. And for those who want even less, like that much space. This is actually pretty decent because this does look like two fingers that are relatively thin that are attached, but these fucking are chunky monkeys, right? But Peter Hahn specifically mentioned, he's like, when you're doing these contour lines, he specifically says, he's like, do not do too many, right? Like, do not do too many because what you're trying to do is space them out so you actually have a clear understanding of where they reside in the space. Like, if you don't want to clutter it, you want clear visual communication. Visual communication is what a lot of spatial reasoning terminology is attributed to, right? It's like you want clear visual communication. And like even here, while I'm thinking about these contours, I'm still trying to think about, while I'm doing that contour, I'm still trying to think about this, right? Like this is the plane, but because we only see this part, and that's why it's a cylinder, right? Because I'm trying to think about this specific part of the ellipse, right? Of the ellipse. I don't know why of the ellipse like that, but I'm trying to think about that while I do these contours. And again, this one is like such. Maybe I'll have an extra one here. Again, maybe that isn't what Peter Hahn wanted. But one thing I will say is like Peter Hahn is a great teacher. He is a genuinely good teacher, but he has forgotten, like he has absolutely forgotten what it's like to be a beginner or just to be someone who's still learning, because the amount of times he says simple shapes or simple manipulations without taking into context that the people that he is explaining this to view these as exponentially more difficult than anything they've ever attempted is hilarious, right? Like, I mean, it goes to show, like, literally the top comment in that video was me listening to this master talk about simple shapes, and then I attempt it and I can't do it at all. First, but that commenter was also a fucking dipshit because he's like, I couldn't do it, or he or she said I couldn't do it after one attempt, so they're a fucking moron. But either way, right? Like Peter Hahn has definitely forgotten what it's like to be a beginner, you know. And it makes sense because he's not a fucking beginner, but it's also a skill to like extensively break down your own thought process. And I don't know if this is a fault or not. Like I'm not trying to like speak ill of him or anything, but I'm just saying like it's just another indication that even someone who as articulate and has well spoken and who does honestly a pretty fucking great job as to teaching as he does, right? I don't know why I keep saying he like that, but as he does, right? He still does not realize that these things are not by any means simple to execute. Simple to understand perhaps, but nowhere near simple to execute. But anyways, with that bitching aside, not even bitching, just that, I guess, explanation aside, back to drawing, and this time let me do a different angle, right? We have our hand, so why the fuck don't I just use my goddamn hand? That's a pretty good angle, but I want to do back angle. Why don't we do this? Okay, you know what? Fuck it, we'll do this, right? Fuck, what the fuck? I want to do this. I want to do bottom angle, but I want to do the thumb on the other side. What the fuck is that? Is that like this? Oh yeah, that's like this, right? That's like that. Okay. So we'll do that, right? And again, I'm thinking about the box, and this is good because this angle is gonna be very difficult to calculate. Not only the diagonal cross sections, but especially for the palm, this subtlety, this angle subtlety, and that angle subtlety, right? It being there is not going to make much of a difference because I'm going to be taxing my working, like I'm already struggling right now to just visualize the box, right? But I'm going to be taxing my working memory constantly right now to get that angle down, right? And I said I wanted the thumb on the other side. Okay, so this is going to look like ass, and I'm very excited for it to look like ass. So let's do this. Let's get the thumb down, right? So let's first do the because I'm trying to think about the box. So I'm saying let's do the base of the palm, right? The base of the palm is essentially this sort of shape. That is a manipulation that is taught, I believe, right? That is a manipulation that's being taught. I don't know why I'm saying taught. Why am I saying taught like that? But that's what's being taught, right? So we have to think about the box, and it is the bottom that we're seeing, right? We're seeing the fucking bottom. What the fuck was the angle again? Was it like this, right? No, it was like this. Okay, so we're seeing the top of the hand. We're seeing the bottom of the hand. What the fuck am I saying? Dude, I'm actually confused myself. But this is normal, right? This level of discomfort. Okay, so I can barely see the box, but I'm going to attempt to, there you go, get the palm down. And now we need to think about the base, right? Because this is my box. I've created my box, and I have to think, not the base, sorry, I need to think about the angle of the palm, right? Because this is my box, this is my angle, right? This is my angle, and then this is why it's so difficult, because like just to even extend the base, like the bottom plane of this box outward is fucking killing my brain, right? And now I have to think about the center plane, I have to think about this diagonal, and I have to think about the subtle diagonal, and the subtle diagonal here. So I think it's something like this. And I have to also think about the center point, because I can't just draw the diagonal. I have to think about the center point of this as well. So it's something like that. No, but when I say something like that, I mean that is what I believe the diagonal to be. That is what I believe this diagonal to be, this one, right? That is what I believe the diagonal that is after cutting the box in half and with the diagonal cross sections and then putting another diagonal towards the center point, like this diagonal, that's what I believe it to be, right? And I very well could be wrong. In fact, it's highly likely that I am wrong. It's almost, it's actually like almost a certainty that I am wrong, but that is besides the point, because now I have to think about the box here and here, say here one more time, like here, but now I have to think about the box that is essentially encompassing this sphere, and then I have to think about the cylinder next to it, and and see, like I have to think, okay, I have to think about where this sphere ends as well, where like the intersection of the sphere ends as well. So where does that end, right? This is my box. It's going like this. I think it's something like this. So it should be coming down even more so. I don't even know if more so is a word, to be honest, but I do say it quite often. And I have to think about the box. Holy shit, I have to think about the box. Okay, this is fucking killing my brain, dude. This is literally like trying to see the overall box right here and then trying to think about the diagonal cross sections. Oh, I feel so fucking good. That is when you attach dopamine to errors, my friends. Like this moment right here of extreme cognitive friction where I'm losing everything and I can't see the box, this is exactly where you must attach dopamine to errors. Because look at the size of that sphere. That is way too large, I believe, to be the sphere, right? And why is my speech stilted? No fucking idea, right? But... and again, like this is definitely incorrect. But even like the way I did this manipulation, I mean, like technically the palm could be manipulated like this, technically, but that is not what we're going for. We're literally going for rigidity, not rigidity, but we're going for literally like an inert hand, right? Like non-moving, right? No expression. This line itself is also a mistake, right? And I need to think, oh, by the way, I'm also trying to think about like the center point of this sphere in relation to the perspective. So like if this is the box, right, that, fuck me, bro. Is this even the box anymore? I don't know. I literally don't know. I think that's the box, right? And that's the sphere inside of it. I have to think about the center point that it is in relation to that, and then the sphere something there. No idea. Dude, no idea. Okay, I'm gonna rest my brain. This is actually like extremely cognitively demanding. So I'm gonna rest my brain, and then I'm gonna try to figure this out again. But these are the angles that we're gonna keep doing. So clearly, it's not as if I've mastered these other angles, but these extreme, like this, like these extreme angles, right? That's exactly where I need to be. So yeah, I'm gonna keep. This is fucking amazing. This is genuinely taxing my brain. I fucking love this. Anyways, I'm gonna rest my brain. I'll be right back, and I encourage you to do so as well. All right, cool. I also encourage you to do what I do and stay hydrated, please. It is not good to be dehydrated. What the fuck, dehydrated? I'm a fucking stuttering mess. Jesus Christ. But anyways, back to thinking about the box. It's already gone to shit, but let's see. This is my large cylinder that's wrapped around. There you go. And then again, we have the other cylinder that's tapered, right? That's a tapered thumb. Something like that, right? Let's get this diagonal. And I am still trying to think about the, like I'm genuinely still trying to think about the box. But this has all gone to absolute shit, right? Like, tell me, like, I just don't even know what I did anymore. I feel as if, like I genuinely don't know what I did anymore, but honestly, what I definitely did wrong is I made the, yeah, this diagonal is actually the problem. Like, this diagonal is way too much. This is okay. It's this one that's way too much, but we have to commit to it now. And then we have to, if this is my box, right? We have to think about the center line. And you see, like, I'm not looking at, see, again, it's too thick. So that's beautiful, but I'm not looking at the, yeah, I'm not looking at the line that I'm making right now. So that's why it is, of course, has a lot of errors, right? And now I am looking at it, but even then, I'm trying my absolute best to not, dude, I could barely think about anything there. I'll be completely honest. I could barely think about anything. But overall, like, even this, it has a lot of issues. But goddamn, if it isn't, like, it just feels good to try. I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, it just feels good to try and fail, dude. Like, it literally just feels good to try and fail. And this box, the box that I'll be putting over this will definitely also have many issues. Like, I'll be completely honest, right? Because it's already so difficult. Like, I cannot, by the way, I could not for like the past, whatever the fuck the repetitions were for this, I could not visualize the box at all. Like, I genuinely could, and even now, like, I'm trying to so fucking hard visualize while zooming out, but it's an extremely difficult skill. Oh, by the way, I mean, just a heads up, I don't know if anybody's here at this point. I didn't really feel like drawing, like 5 minutes before, let's say like half an hour every time before I start to draw. I don't really feel like drawing. It's very rare that I actually quote unquote feel like drawing, right? But lo and behold, once you start, you're like, I feel like drawing, I feel amazing, right? But just a heads up, just so you know that, like, you're not alone in that, right? Like, that literally 90% of the time, I don't feel, not I don't enjoy, or that once I start, I don't like it, but I don't feel like drawing. Right? And again, like, even the I don't like it part, we can train to like it by focusing on the effort. I can't wait to, like, raise an entire generation of you cocksuckers who just keep parroting it's all about the effort and actually have a good growth mindset, right? Is that egotistical? Yes, but do I want it to happen? Of course. Of course I would want to impart a positive mindset for the next generation of artists. Will I be able to? We'll see. But either way, that's one thing. The other thing is, if you go to the posts tab on my channel, like, you know how there's like fucking live, blah, 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 all that shit. If you go to posts, I don't know how people in the future are probably listening, people now listening, but I've joined the Broken Draw School community, right? Because, like, I just was fortunate that he posted on Instagram like a few weeks back, being like, hey, I'm doing like a community thing. If you want early access, like, join up, right? So I was like, okay, shit, like, let me fucking hashtag join up, right? So yes, I do hashtag everything for no reason. Yes, it is incredibly annoying and unnecessary. And yes, I am gonna continue doing it. How did you hashtag no? But anyways, um, I um, I joined that, and I specifically decided to do the paid tier. It's 25 bucks Canadian a month, right? Because I got early access. Otherwise, it would have been like 30, right? Because it's like 18 USD, right? I think it's a very reasonable price. I mean, again, it's like people will bitch about money, but I think honestly, the money what you pay is with the value you see in it, right? Like it's always easy to justify not making an expense, but it's also, I mean, it's easy to do both. It's easy to justify making an expense and not making an expense, but it just comes down to like how much value do you get out of it. Look, like I can't even fucking close this box properly, bro. That's how you know I fucked up the the perspective on this. But basically, the whole point of the Broken Draw Discord that, not Discord, sorry, school community that I'm using is to hold myself accountable to draw even more, essentially. Like to genuinely draw 7 days a week, apart from the 5, but they won't be recorded. Like the drawings I'm going to be doing is on that community tab, where it's basically the like it's finally that form deconstruction practice I always wanted to do. But I liked keeping my live streams as imagination drawings, and I liked what I was doing with my main practice, and I didn't want to add mistake with the diagonal cross section. It didn't enter like connect to the right spot, and I liked what I was doing, and I like what I'm doing with my main practice, right? And I'm not trying to get that in the way of it, but I still wanted to practice form deconstruction. So this was a great excuse for me to, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. And the way it works is that I just deconstruct a form every single day, right? And they get more and more complex. They go from like a simple box type form, and they're basically household objects and like furniture. And it goes from being basic, it goes from being basic. There's like 4 stages or 4 levels, right? Level 1 is box, level 2 is like a wedge shape, level 3 is like cylinders intersecting. And like that's the concept of the shape. It's not gonna be exactly like that. Level 4 is just something complex that utilizes the prior 3 levels, right? And the item is always different because that's interleaving, right? And again, the skill that's being built is the ability to spatially visualize this box, right, with the 6 planes and the diagonal cross sections, and then to break it down into simple forms, right? And the ability that's gonna be built over the next fucking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of repetitions is the ability to just deconstruct any single form I see, just like that, and then immediately internalize its proportions. So it's proportion, speed of line, visualizing the 3D box, visible and invisible planes, and the diagonal cross sections, like calculating them, while breaking down the form into breaking down the object into simple forms and retaining its proportions to the best of my ability, right? So basically what I'm doing here, but just with specifically like more hard surface objects, right? Maybe, hopefully that explains it better. But yeah. So just as a heads up, if you go to community posts, you should see me just consistently like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 form deconstruction. So you can see my progress there too. Because again, demystify, right? Get rid of the fucking bullshit notion that art is a talent and replace it with the extremely feasible reality that it's a hard-won skill through hundreds and thousands of repetitions and hundreds and thousands of hours, right? Intentional repetitions and intentional hours focused on foundations, which improve your ability to spatially reason and become a better draftsman, right? That is what we are replacing the notion of talent with, which is reality, right? Which is removing the fluff. Instead of patting ourselves on the back and saying, I'm just not talented, we kick ourselves in the nuts and say, oh, I just need to keep working. Except again, I'm not of the opinion that it's a whole fucking, oh yes, it's a fucking, art is a goddamn like, oh, I'm dying, it's I'm such a tragic fucking starving artist, oh, woe is me. Shut the fuck up. All right, bro, you're just learning. Like, shut the fuck up. You're literally just learning, right? So that's the box I want to embed exactly, like, and again, it should be perfectly aligned with the edge of this plane, right? The edge of this plane, the box, this half sphere. Still figuring it out, because in the example given, it's actually like perfectly embedded at like almost at the halfway point. I gotta figure this sphere out, but that's exactly what we're gonna do, right? So let's keep grinding our brain. Let's use our nasally voice, right? Right. There we go. That's my real voice. But yeah. Anyways, these hands are definitely getting better. I'm sure it doesn't look like it, but my understanding, the fact that I'm constantly trying to recall and understand, is really all that matters at the end of the day, right? So we're gonna do something like this again, but in this angle and in this angle, right? Why? Because again, we are going to be actively trying to make things difficult for us, right? So this is what we want. This is the box that we're going to be envisioning while we try to envision and calculate, right? This box is what we're going to try and envision and calculate while making. And you see how, like, when the box is smaller, it's easier to calculate and it's easier to connect these lines, right? Not make good lines, as you can see. Fucking that angle That angle I've been, see, literally look at that. It's like this, like shaking, right? Because this angle right here for my thumb and my fingers has consistently been my biggest weak point, right? This, not too bad. This, not too bad. But this, like, super, super shaky. Anything that's pushing outward or inward in this angle, right? Which is good, because that means it's a skill, right? It is a meta skill, a sub skill, a skill within the skill. Main skill, application of line. Sub skill, application of line with specific angle, holding the pen in a specific way with a specific type of orientation. Meta skill, right? Everything is a fucking skill. Everything you're shit at, skill. Everything you're good at, skill, right? Everything you need to learn, skill. So hopefully, once again, that clarifies that skill issue, right? Always a skill issue and effort quotient. I'm never gonna call it an effort issue because some days you can only put a certain amount of effort in. But the point is, it's an effort quotient. Like, how much effort can we put in? Like, I'm trying to put in a lot of effort to see this diagonal cross section in this box right now, right? And I'm also trying to put a lot of effort in to expanding it just slightly because I keep making the mistake of involving the hand. I basically make the width of the palm, right? Let's say like this is what I'm imagining the palm to be. I also make the palm, the hand itself to be the same size when the hand should be something like this, because a palm is something that is manipulated inside of it and then diagonally, right? And that's intuitive perspective, by the way. That could be completely wrong, but like diagonally contoured, right? But that's probably wrong. Actually, no, that was pretty okay. This is actually wrong. There you go, that one's wrong. But again, I'm learning. But anyways, back to visualizing, right? Back to visualizing. Let's get the palm. And again, like the whole point is like try to apply decently fast while I'm thinking about the palm. But I said I'd do that angle. Dude, you know what's hilarious? I said I'd do that angle, and then immediately my mind chose an easy angle like that. Immediately, my mind, it just lost it, just like that, right? Just like that. Just like that. There you go. That's my real voice. But haha, same joke over and over. But anyways, like that's why I need to visualize, right? And we need to. Okay, I need to visualize and I need to calculate and I need to try to think about, again, expanding. I'm struggling a lot to expand the base of the box that I'm visualizing, let alone actually see through the box. But either way, let's start with something like this, right? That should set the perspective a little bit better. And then I will do... Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to visualize the box. I'm expanding it. I'm actually doing pretty good at expanding it. I'm trying to see the diagonal cross sections on all the planes, right? But this one especially. And I'm seeing the center line right here. And then I'm seeing this diagonal and that. Okay, so that is... Okay, that's pretty good. So that's my diagonal there. And then, let's see, once again, right? Once again, what's my other diagonal? Oh, okay, it's like right here. Okay, cool. That's not too bad. Oh, I should have moved this hand down. Damn, I actually put the hand in the wrong spot. Look at that. I should have moved the hand down. No, shit. Okay, so I got the diagonal wrong. I got the diagonal wrong because this box is wrong. Because, yeah, that diagonal is wrong. So, is there a way to save this? Isn't that the real question? Like, is there a way to save this? The answer is yes. There actually could be a way to save this. I'm changing the angle. We're actually going to turn into this now. Right? Or even a box that's just like this. Like a one-point perspective almost. Or even better, it could be something like this, right? But I'm gonna change the angle, and let's see if there's a way to salvage this, right? So I'm in the extremely difficult process of trying to I'm trying to reverse engineer the box into this. I'm literally trying to reverse. Okay, so I think I got it. Yeah, there you go. So that is what hand is that? That's still my left hand, right? So that's the pinky. Right, so that's the pinky. You know what, if that's the case, let's make this a little bit larger, right? I did make this too small in terms of width, but if that's the case, there you go. Oh shit, that was a mistake. And that's okay. Again, mistakes are okay. Like, I know I said, oh shit, but it's not a big deal. It's genuinely not a big deal. I'm still trying to visualize the box, right? I'm still trying to get the diagonal cross sections correct in my mind. Like, this is actually extremely difficult, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, fucking no shit, it's difficult. See, like, this is my worst one yet. There's no organicness. Oh my god, that was that's so bad. So you see, it's always gonna happen. You're always going to keep losing everything, right? And all you can do, literally all you can do, is keep trying to not lose everything while you continue to lose everything, right? Like, that is, funny enough, the only thing that we can do. And let's see, we got the tapered thumb. And I don't even know if I'm seeing what I'm doing right now correctly, but I am trying my best to make sense of it while I do it, right? You said doo-doo. I did say doo-doo. Thank you for noticing, right? So, let's see. And then this is my tapered box. Okay, the thumb looks fucking stupid. The thumb, look at this. Look at that. Oh, such a beautiful mistake. Such beautiful, beautiful mistakes, right? I'm not even gonna bother like drawing the box over that, because that rep was not a bad rep. It was a great rep. It was a rep full of failures and literally like pure output regression. So that means like what? I was trying really hard to think and I couldn't think at all. That was a great, beautiful repetition, which I'm genuinely forcing myself to feel good about, right? Like I'm just attaching dopamine to. But I don't know if it's really worthwhile to draw the box over this, right? Because I'm telling you this, I could barely think when I was drawing those fingers, because I could barely think about anything. I literally could not think. And again, let it be known that the original box that I was trying to draw it in was in this perspective. And then because I fucked this up completely, I had to reorient it to like this perspective. Or not even like this perspective. See, it's still so difficult. That's why I'm purposefully starting with the hard angle, like the diagonal angle. Like I'm purposefully starting there, right? Because if I can force myself, no matter where I am, because this is it, right? Like let's say like this is the box. Like this is just orthographic view 2D plane, and it's cut in half, right? And the palm is like this, right? And why is the palm like that? Because this is diagonal, this the diagonal, right? And then this diagonal and this diagonal. This diagonal right here, this one and this one is what reflect the angle of the palm, the subtle diagonal angle of the palm, because it is tapered. And I'm trying to ground it to calculations that can be objectively measured against without any margin for error, right? Or objectively measured against without having to guess it every time, like something that it's reliably can be measured against. I guess that's the best way to say it, right? That's why I'm making it that specific angle, right? But if I can every single time, no matter what angle I'm in 3 dimensions, start the box with, and then the sphere is also like tapered right there, right? The thumb, and then this is the thumb attachment, right? Tapered. But if I can, and I can see that's actually pretty accurate. Yeah, there you go. Wow, that is actually pretty accurate, the angle over there. Cool. Maybe this could have been a little bit taller, right? But if I can reliably start this section, right? Literally just this section from any angle, everything else is much easier, right? Because we always want to do the difficult thing first. Without a doubt, you always want to do the difficult thing first. But anyways, I'm gonna rest my brain, and I'd encourage you to do the same, right? And there's actually like, that's the thing I have to keep reminding myself of, is the fact that like, to make things even more complex and difficult, is that when I am thinking about the box, like for example, if I'm thinking about a box like this, right? I must now consistently also train myself, apart from all the diagonal cross sections, like apart from this, like all that shit, right? Is to also be like, okay, well, the palm is actually tapered like so, right? And then I have to be like, well, and then actually, like the front finger is also a box. It's inside a box, and it's slightly less. It is just like a little bit smaller in terms of length, in terms of like I guess the top of the box, like the overall box I'm trying to visualize. And the pinky is actually just even a little bit less than that, right? And then the middle two are basically something like this, where it goes all the way up, it hits the edge of the box, whatever, right? And then it comes down, and then this one comes out like slightly less as well, right? And it's like a fucking stacked box. It's like yeah, it's like this. This is like the middle part, right? Except it's gonna be organic. Ooh, that's too much. It's like this. Yeah, that's why they recommend you do it at an angle like so, and then, you know, contour lines or whatever the fuck. But I'm saying like that's also like what I need to train myself to visualize, because on top of that, right? On top of that, there's also the box of the thumb, which is perfectly halfway through. And I can't even fucking conceptualize this right now, but it's literally something like this. Yeah, there you go. It's something like this, right? And it's perfectly halfway through, and that's a sphere inside of it. And then this, and then there's another box for the cylinder, right? And then another box for the tapered cylinder. Like, bro, that's so much to think about, right? Because at the end of the day, we're trying to fucking put everything in a goddamn box, and that's very difficult. That right there is very difficult. So, either way, 24th rep. Let's try to. Let's keep doing it in the extremely difficult angles, because that's the only thing we can do. Is can do, Mr. Michich. Yeah, that's the only thing we can do is put in extremely difficult angles, right? I'm gonna try. What's an angle I can do that's really hard? Well, I wanted to do that, so let's try that again, right? And this time, like, and this is obviously gonna test my proportions as well, right? But either way, let's see if the box like this, right? Box like this, then there you go, right? It's a box that is angled as such, and I have to keep that in mind as I angle this outward. And you see my lines will suffer because of that, right? As I angle it outwards. And I'm still trying to keep that box in mind, right? This box in mind. I guess, okay, I'm gonna have to, because I made this again. I keep beautifully making these angles much more dramatic than they need to be. Like, if this was a 2D plane, right? That I just made that taper like fucking like this, right? So now I have to account for that again and be like, okay, where is this actually going? And I can make, okay, so I think I'm gonna make this box something like this, right? So that way, even an angle that is going out that way is relatively accurate, right? That is relatively, so much to fucking think about. Oh my god, I love this, right? This is why hands are so difficult, and perhaps I'm taking the difficulty of the hands to the natural extreme, as I like to do, right? But I genuinely think like that is just an incredibly effective way to make things more difficult for yourself, is like take it to the natural extreme, right? Always take things to the natural extreme. How can I make this more difficult for myself? The answer is just fucking make it more difficult, right? Like literally think about more things, visualize more things in your mind. Don't like focus on your line quality. Do not allow yourself to be in any moment of comfort, right? And constantly keep attaching dopamine to errors whilst you, and again, I could have made this more like that edge. What I did was like, I basically, if this was the edge curve of the palm, I made the line go up like right around here instead of like at the end of it, like which would have been right around there, right? So that obviously makes the shape look a lot less realistic. But by the way, while I'm looking at this, I'm also visualizing the other side of this as well, right? Like this. Right, like this part. Like I'm doing my best to also visualize that, right? And while I'm doing that, I'm also trying to think about the box overall, right? And I'm struggling. I'm telling you, I am fucking struggling right now because I keep making the box, the base of the overall box I'm trying to visualize the same size as the smallest width of the palm, like this base of the palm, right? So we need to keep remembering and reminding ourselves that, hey, that's not what's happening, right? See diagonal cross section. Right, this diagonal cross section, and then this one. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. This one right here is not bad. So now I need to hold that and hold. I don't know why I say like hold. Fucking can't even say H's right correctly. I swear I'm white. I swear it. But I'm trying to hold now I'm trying to visualize the box through this, right? Like, oh my god, my body's not tensing. I'm tensing my body for no reason, but like this is such cognitive work. It's incredible. But I'm trying to think about the box that's going through this proportionally, and then the sphere that's inside of it, and it's at the center line. And now we must, there you go. And then where is the diagonal? The diagonal is like right there, so I need to, what I mean by that is like, where's the diagonal of the box? The diagonal is like right there, right? So I need to ensure that this cylinder is in that relative diagonal as well. And I don't even know what the fuck I did for this, there you go. I literally don't even know how, like, the form blending, bro, combining the form blending with this shit is so incredibly difficult. I can't explain. It's so incredibly difficult, right? I was gonna say I can't explain, but I can. It's extremely taxing to my working memory, and I'm kind of zoomed in. Not kind of. I'm pretty zoomed in on that right now, and you can see like how much my lines have suffered. Lines? Why am I saying lines like that? But well, how much my lines have suffered, how much everything has suffered, right? And whew, let's see, box overall. I'm trying to think about the box overall. Okay, and supposedly this is my, it's not gonna make much sense, but either way, let's just, sorry, I'm not even finished my sentences. Supposedly that is the length of my goddamn fingers, but it doesn't make much sense because the perspective itself has become skewed. Here you go. Alright, I do apologize. I genuinely apologize for the lack of verbosity. Right, the lack of verbosity. But let's at least make these fingers fucking appropriately thick, i.e. not chunky as fuck. Right, there you go. There you go. That's okay. That is, it's not great. It's not good at all. But it's okay. Man, these harsh angles, these more, I love this. I fucking love this. And again, like while I'm drawing this, these contours, I'm trying to see through the organic forms itself, like such, right? And I am constantly trying to think about the box. And this is such a good skill to train. Like what I'm doing right now, this, because the thing is, like, if you don't feel like a fucking idiot while you're learning, it's highly likely that you're actually not learning as much as you think you are. Like, you want to feel friction, you want to feel cognitive effort, you want to feel cognitive discomfort, and then you want to feel as if you're constantly putting in effort to retain as many things as you can in terms of applicability, visualization, calculation, while applying, like all that shit. Like, you want to genuinely feel like you don't know. Again, this, see this? That's why that looks so off. See, that looks a lot better. It actually looks like it's attached to the edge of the fingers. But that's just the way I see it. And it's the correct way, so listen to me. Right? See, that was wrong. And that was wrong too, because it wasn't, see that, I just like ended that way too fast. Fuck, my pen cap! Oh no! But that was, yeah, I'm gonna, holy shit, I'm gonna rest my brain. And then I'm gonna obviously try to draw the box over this, and then we'll do one more, right? Obviously, it's gonna be with a nice new page, ta-da! And the thumbnail is gonna be kind of unfortunate, because people are gonna think I only drew one. And I'll be like, no, you don't understand, I did the repetitions. But either way, it's not about the views, it's about the Jews. As in, I would like money. So, with that being said, please don't rest your brain. I say the same fucking jokes every goddamn day anyways, every video, every practice, so bear it no mind. Simply keep me on the background, give me retention, mute my ass if need be. Thank you. I'm still trying to figure out, like, because again, like, the examples that artwod gives, right, with like the instructor provided examples of the mannequin, and just even like Antonio, he does, the creator of artwod, he provides a feedback, right? He does like feedback, or he does like solutions for the puzzles, I guess you could say, right? Those are confusing at times because they essentially, and again, is this even the right box? I'm so confused. I made so many mistakes. But they essentially do not follow like a math system, for lack of a better word. I don't even think I'm doing this in the right perspective, to be honest, right? But so I'll leave it here. Like, we're not gonna do the diagonal cross sections because A, I'm trying to visualize it already, but B, it's clearly a mistake on my end. Upsie, I'm incapable currently of just connecting these properly, but yeah, like that hand, that hand, the more I look at it, the worse it is, which is good, which is genuinely good. So let's keep going again. And the thing is, like, this has a beautiful trickle down effect because you can see like the normal angles, there's like this, or like the angles that I don't struggle with, it looks a lot cleaner, right? Like that looks pretty clean, that looks pretty decent, right? But as you can see, like anything that immediately has like these weird angles that I'm incapable of currently visualizing well, it all comes down to what angles can I visualize well and what angles, what boxes can I not visualize well, right? And this is just a reflection of that, you know? And it might be funny actually, because you may look at this, be like, wait, like he didn't even struggle with this, but he's struggling with this. And the answer is yes, because I'm trying to think more and I'm trying to recall and I'm trying to actively keep it in my mind while I do it, right? So it is very, and the thing is, like, I didn't even do this correctly. You can see, like, I didn't do this correctly. I didn't get the palm tilted, like the angle of the palm at all, right? It should have been something more like this. Like that's what it should have been like. And then this one should have come out like so. Like that is already more correct, that tilt, you know, and then this wasn't even placed correctly. This wasn't even placed properly attached to the sphere, sorry, the sphere wasn't even placed properly attached to the tapering part of the halfway point, the tapering point of the halfway point of the tapered palm. Jesus Christ, cannot fucking speak. I genuinely apologize. Like, I want to be articulate and explain things properly, but it's a skill, and I'm not very skilled at that, right? So I'm trying to be as explicit as I can with all the things that I'm trying to hold my mind and think about and calculate and all that stuff, right? But what rep are we on? 25? Cool. But just, it's just, I'm just going to keep trying. So yeah, bear with me, right? Bear with me while I try. And that's why I encourage you to draw along, because as long as you're aware, like, hey, okay, I'm just trying to keep a lot of shit in my mind at the same time, like constantly keep focusing and refocusing on calculating, right? Like that's literally, and just again, attaching dopamine to the process, like just feeling good about the effort and the failures, especially the errors, like noticing them and feeling good about them, right? Like that is how we learn. So again, so clearly I struggle most with starting with the tapering box. So I want, no matter if I'm starting with the hands, like the hands are facing us like this or they're facing us away, I always want to start with the tapered box, right? Because like that is what is going to create the most amount of friction for me. That is what is objectively going to create the most amount of friction. And my mistake with the previous hands was like I drew the base, the palm too small, right? I want to genuinely draw larger hands. Like they need to be the same size that these were, right? They need to be this size, because that is what is going to allow me to continuously scale out and visualize, right? So again, I'm thinking about the box already, right? And while I'm thinking about the box, I'm trying to think about the overall center line, right? And then the diagonal cross section, the center line, diagonal cross section, right? This is the center point. This right here should be the center point of this palm, right? And then this is the angle that I'm going for, by the way, something like that. And you can see like anything to do with pulling here, immediately my line is shittier. This fine, that super fucking, and that was me like focusing, super shit, right? But anyways, trying to focus on the box, right? And I'm trying to get the diagonal cross section, trying to see through the box. And now I'm trying to think about the subtle, so something like that, right? And now we need to get the other one as well. And let's see. we need to get the other angle as well, right? So I need to continuously and the thing is, like, the second this line comes about, this tapering of the box comes about, it is an immediate obstruction to my visualization because it conflicts with the perspective that I'm trying to establish, right? And that is good because I'm training myself to ignore and to integrate these conflicts, actually more than anything, as part of my visualization, to understand that yes, that is part of it. That is exactly where it should be. That's pretty good too. Okay, cool. Oh no! Fuck! Oh, okay, so mistakes are... No, like, I say fuck, but like, I'm literally forcing myself to feel good, but mistakes were objectively made, right? Because I'm sure you already know what the mistake was, but if you don't, I literally forgot to draw the fucking thumb. So like, that is a mistake, right? And again, like, I think this palm is tapered too wide, or I just simply didn't make the, I just didn't make it long enough. I just didn't make it long enough in relation to, so this is proportion as well, in relation to the width of the base of the palm, right? I didn't make it long enough because it's stopping right around here. Like, this is how big I made it compared to like it being right around that big. And I don't know if my hand is like the perfect proportions to base it off of, but let me still think about the box, right? I need to encompass a box. And I'm thinking through the form as well, right? I'm thinking through this form. So I'm thinking about a box that is encompassed here. And let's see. And okay, so this is where my sphere is. And now with that, right, I need to think about the thumb, right? The thumb cylinder and how that fits. And that just comes down to thinking about this diagonal cross section, I believe, right? Like this one. So it's right around it. This is the center point. So something like, see, so I also like made the sphere to like extend far too outward, but now the next question is like, which way is the thumb facing? And the thumb is facing, if this is a cylinder in a box in that perspective, yes, okay, so the thumb is facing this, the cylinder, sorry, is facing this way. There you go. Yeah, so like this is obviously a huge mistake. And that's a good thing. Again, like this is difficult. It is objectively difficult to draw hands. It is objectively difficult to think about all this geometry. It is objectively difficult to keep visualizing, to keep calculating. It is all objectively very, very, very difficult. And that's exactly why, let me just try to think right now. That's exactly why it's worth doing, right? It's exactly why it's worth doing. Because if it wasn't worth doing, then we would never, ever, and I mean ever fucking learn anything, right? So, and again, I'm trying to think about the organic forms, I'm trying to think about the perspective, the cross contours, trying to zoom out to the best of my ability, trying to keep the proportions of the hand in of itself relatively decent, right, in terms of the thickness of the fingers themselves, right? And there you go. This should be a lot better in terms of, that's okay. That's actually not that bad. The sphere is actually very off. Now that I look at it, the sphere is incredibly off. Should be something like that. Because funny enough, like this angle I understand better, right? So like it makes more sense when I look at it this way. But I think the sphere should be larger too, right? So there's quite a bit there. Yeah, still trying to figure it out. But god damn if that wasn't good. Like, I'll be honest, like fucking dude, like god damn if that wasn't incredibly rewarding to make these mistakes and to keep fucking up, right? And again, like I hope this really puts into perspective because I'm on rep 25, right? I'm telling you, rep 250, that's when people, I say people very like people as in like what, who the fuck's watching, but see, that was a mistake too because I'm not thinking about the contour properly. And what am I not thinking about the contour properly? I'm not thinking about this angle properly, right? I'm not thinking about this box properly, right? But what I mean by people is like fucking whoever you are, right? Whoever's watching, you will notice that only after a couple hundred repetitions was and will there ever be generally notable improvements, right? That isn't to say I don't notice improvements all the time, right? And that isn't to say I'm not making mistakes all the time, to notice improvements, to even think about actionable improvements to work towards as well, right? Like, and that's why I try to mention them. Like right now, there's so many notable improvements that can be made. Like even with these lines that I was making, I was forcing myself to feel good because like these, I kept fucking up the contour here. Like look at that, it's not even connecting properly. This is way too deep. Like it's way too much of a curve for the sphere that it should be, right? And like same with this isn't following this curve properly, right? Like there's even with my lines in of itself. And while I'm doing this, I have lost the perspective multiple times. So that's another improvement that could be had, right? I haven't been able to visualize the diagonal cross sections. That's another improvement that could be had, right? Like it's so plentiful. Like it's literally plentiful. And I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, plentiful, but it is genuinely plentiful in terms of the amount of things that one could improve. And that's why it's beautiful, right? That's why it's a good thing that we can improve, right? Because if we couldn't improve, if we couldn't even focus on improving, then yeah, like the friction would be a fucking hassle. But the fact that we can notice these things and improve, right? And of course, like the issue here especially is because this line is in the way, because I literally closed it and then I fucked up the thumb in and of itself, right? But that was good. That was really good. Lots of mental effort, lots of cognitive friction, genuinely lots of cognitive friction, constantly trying to visualize to the best of my ability, right? And I want to always be very clear, like guys, it's always, and girls, but it's always about the best of your ability, right? No more, no less, because any more, it's still the best of your ability, so I guess it's no less. But it really is about the best of your ability, right? Like, yeah, genuinely, it's about the best of your ability. I have nothing else to fucking say. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. But yeah. And again, this diagonal cross section, like where did I get this diagonal from? Right, I'll show you. It's, well, let me complete the seen through version of this box. And again, like this isn't that good, right? Like even though this was probably my best one today, like this still has a lot of issues. Like this sphere, I think needs to be a lot bigger, for sure. I don't know, they draw it quite large. Like in some of them, it takes up half of the palm, and other ones, it takes up the fucking like 2/3 of the palm, right? I think the sphere is fine. I think the placement is fine. I think it literally just needs to be like larger. Like it literally just needs to be larger, like that. See, like that already makes a huge difference. You know, there you go. That's where it needs to be, and then that way the thumb will jet out properly, and it'll look like a proper curve with the rest of the fingers, right? Because right now it looks fucking retarded. It looks fucking stupid because it's too small. It's too small. Like the thumb joint, this whatever the hell this is, this pad that we're utilizing as a sphere to describe in its simplest form, is perhaps too small. And also I made this tooth too big. Like this part too big. Again, my thumb maybe isn't the best frame of reference for myself or for you, right? But yeah, what is this? What is it? Where? How did I get this diagonal cross section? Right, like this angle, and it comes from your mom. Anyways, oh, see, I fucked that up. I didn't connect that diagonal properly because I'm specifically choosing not to look, right? Not to look. I'm specifically choosing not to look. But this is where this diagonal comes from, and it could be wrong. It likely is wrong, right? But that is what I'm trying to visualize, like this. See, so like, that's actually pretty good. Holy fuck, I actually got it right. Right? So I surprised myself considering how difficult it is. Same with this diagonal cross section. And then again, this one. Whee! But yeah, like this is what I'm constantly trying to calculate, and I hope you can see why I keep saying shit like my brain is dying and holy shit, this is taxing my brain, and oh my god, this is amazing, and holy shit, I can't see anything, and 50 fucking versions of the same bullshit I always say, right? Because it's genuinely very difficult to think about these essentially dozen variables, if not more, at the same time, and that's exactly why I do it, because the more I do it, the better I'll get at doing it, right? Again, the shocking concept of intentional practice, you know, and you can see, like, I really struggle with getting from this angle to this angle in a clean line, while I don't look there specifically, I'm looking here, I'm trying to get it in one fell swoop. But biggest things to keep in mind, obviously, for next practice, which will be roughly like 80 hours or like 100 hours from now, because interleaving space repetition, all that shit, is of course to constantly think about the diagonal, constantly think about how the sphere connects, make the sphere a bit larger, right? Try to think about perhaps not tangible, but a measurable, generalized size for the box that the sphere will be encompassed in, such that it doesn't keep changing in size, right? Because like these are pretty okay. Like these are pretty okay. I still think the best ones, and like if we go through intuition, right? I think the best one is probably something like this, right? Oh, I forgot to add the knuckles, but then again, I've only been doing the bottom version. I haven't been doing the top one, right? For good reason, because I want to get the like this angle correct, right? But yeah, this see, like again, this happens. This will continue to happen, right? But it's a general upward trend. Because look at my first repetition again. Look at my first 10 repetitions. Like look at that. Look at this one, right? And then look at this, right? If we turn it upside down, like it's all. And again, like obviously this is incorrect, but overall things are being spatially reasoned. It's a trend, okay? It's a trend. It's an upward trend. It's not linear. It is literally just a general direction, and as long as you're doing your best and you're trying and you're doing your best to learn and keep things in mind, you will be generally consistently trending upward. But it's like weight loss, where again, weight loss is like you lose 5 pounds, then you gain 2, then you lose 3, then you gain 1, and then you stay there for like another fucking week, and then you lose 3, and then you gain 5, but then you lose 6, right? Like it's like this, right? But then when you look at the long term, it's like this, right? So it's the same shit with art, except the opposite way, right? You won't go up in leaps and bounds, but it'll be like tiny little adjustments, and then you'll be like plateau, because right now I'm technically plateauing because I'm constantly like, I'm just trying to build the skill of seeing the box and all that shit, right? So it's like, it'll keep happening, hundreds of repetitions, micro improvements. Oh shit, look at that, fucking 5,000 repetitions later, he can just do it and he sees things, right? And like he has built a generalizable ability to visualize as a quite large box seen through with all its diagonal cross sections, and then place any forms inside of it in relation to that space, right? And rotate it. So that is the end goal. But with that being said, I hope you tried a lot. I hope you put a lot of fucking effort in. And as always, fuck you for watching. Yeah, I know I segued really fast into that. But as always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please, give me money.